Who's stronger?
Who's faster?
Who's taller? Who's smarter?
Who's better?
Today we're going to be talking about comparison. As you may have noticed, we're twins.
We are. And something else you may have noticed are the questions at the beginning. And that's something we actually get asked all the time. Is just who's better? Who's this? Who's that? And so that's something as twins we begin to hear a lot, and so we know a thing or two about comparison.
Yes. Being twins, we are very familiar with comparison, whether it's being compared to each other or comparing ourselves to other people, just like anyone else. Why we're making this video is because God has taught us a lot about comparison.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to make a video kind of sharing what he taught us through just some examples, illustrations. And so in this video, we're going to be sharing 4 ways that God has helped us to overcome comparison. And let's not waste any time and jump in and jump into number 1. Number 1 is focus on the gifts God has given you.
And we're going to be looking at Judges 6. That's when God talks to Gideon and he calls him to lead the Israelite army. And that's when Gideon tells God all the reasons why he can't and why it's not going to work. And he tells him, hey, I'm the least in my clan. I'm the least in my family. And God's like, am I not sending you? I will be with you. Gideon's first response is to compare himself and come out inferior. And God's like, that doesn't matter. I choose you. I'm with you.
Then we also think about Romans 12 that talks about us all being part of one body, but a body that has many different members. Basically that we all have different gifts, and it goes on to list all these different gifts and saying, if this is your gift, then do this. If this is your gift, then do this, and do it well and focus on doing it well. But we can't be focused on trying to do other people's gifts or trying to have what other people have, but just focusing on the gifts that we have. And
just do what God's given you to do.
Not comparing our gifts to other people's gifts, or even the way we're using our gifts to the way that other people are using our gifts, because it's not only our gift that is unique and that we want to focus on, but it's also the way God has called us to use that gift, what God's called us to do with our life, our path, which I feel like a 2 is about to pop up on the screen. The second point, 2.
No, that brings us to point 2. Know that we are all on different paths. In Hebrews 12:1, it says, we should all run the race marked out for us. And I used to think for the longest time that this was, we're all running a race against each other. We're competing against each other. That would breed comparison.
And we like what it says at the end of Proverbs 4. I'll read verses 25 to 27 and talk about just focusing on what's straight ahead of you and not turning to the right or the left. It says, let your eyes look straight ahead. Fix your gaze directly before you. Give careful thought to the paths for your feet and be steadfast in all your ways. Do not turn to the right or the left. Keep your foot from evil. So we want to give an example of what this looks like, of how we're all in different paths, and what it looks like when we start comparing our path to other people's path. Picture that we both have paths in front of us. Maybe I'll be able to do this with effects. Maybe this will be your imagination. But picture mine is going straight out ahead.
That's
Oh my gosh.
And
Mine is going straight out ahead. Right.
And mine goes ahead and to the left.
Now, our paths, what our lives look like, different things, they may look similar. Zach seem to be walking the same way, but if I'm looking at his path, he's doing what God's calling him to do. He's living his best life. He's walking in slow motion so he doesn't walk off the screen. I start to go after him because I'm trying to follow what he's doing. I'm comparing myself to him. I think I need to be more like him. Now I've strayed off of my path, and me trying to do what he's going to do is only taking me further off of what God had called me to do. And I'm also not even going to be doing as good as him on his. I'll be behind him because you can't do what God's called somebody else to do better than them, because he called them to do it. He can call you to do it. He called them to do it. But if instead I'm able to see that he's going this way, but that's not what I'm focused on. God's called me to go this way. He's focused on doing what God's called him to do. I focus on doing what God's called me to do. And we're both going on the path that God has for us, using our gifts and not worried about the person that is next to us.
The goal is finishing the race that we have. It's completing it. We're the only ones that can finish and complete it, which means if we all have different ones, we're not competing against each other. We can all win. And that means we can help each other win. Like we can encourage each other. We can build each other up. When somebody else is getting ahead, winning, it doesn't mean that we're losing. It doesn't mean that they're better than us. It just means that they're doing well in the path God had for them. It doesn't directly affect our path. It's just what they're doing on theirs.
Because moving into point number 3, which is be happy for each other. Now,
We have another fun example for this one.
when you're on your paths, sometimes in life, when we're comparing, it may seem like someone is ahead of us or like we're ahead of someone else, and it can cause us to constantly be measuring up, comparing, feeling like we're either ahead or behind, and this just doesn't lead to any good. And what this can cause us to do is to not want to be happy for other people whenever they're succeeding or doing well in life.
And even worse, end up tearing each other down and slowing each other down. Because
Trying to make ourselves feel better.
in actuality, it ends up making both of us worse.
So let's picture I am, quote unquote, further along in my race than it looks like he is. So in this scenario, maybe I'm doing well, maybe I got some business portfolios, right? But I see him back there. But maybe he starts doing some things. He's doing well, and you know what? He's still behind me, so I can be happy for it. Hey, let's go. Good job. However, I can be happy for him because he was behind me. He's not ahead of me, but now he's doing so good. He seems to be doing better than I'm doing, and so now that's not okay. He's ahead of me, so take him down with comparison, with jealousy, trying to yank him down from getting ahead of me, because now he's ahead of me. He's better than me, and I have to tear down his life, his choices and things that he's doing to make myself feel better about where I am in my life, when really that wasn't the case at all. Just because he was doing well in his life doesn't mean that he's passing me. Just because I'm doing well in my life doesn't mean that I'm ahead of him, because we're all on just our own course that God designed for us each uniquely.
Because when somebody's winning or doing well at life, it doesn't mean that we're losing. If we can all win, we can both be winning, we can both be doing well. Not only that, God designed us to be able to encourage each other, to build each other up, to help each other do well, and to work together as the body of Christ. Each person doing the gifts that they have, being able to fulfill the things that they can fulfill their purposes, and in turn we make each other better. We help each other finish the race.
Yes. So whenever this is the case, then you can be happy for each other, you can help each other, you can celebrate with each other. I like this quote from an author we both like. His name is Ryan Leake. He says, "Genuine celebration of another person's success disarms the trap of comparison." And I really liked that. It reminds me of the verse Romans 12:15 that talks about rejoicing with those who rejoice.
Yeah.
It's good to be happy for each other whenever things are going well, because I don't know about you, but sometimes it can be easy to think if someone else gets a compliment or something like that, that somebody could be saying you're not that, when really that makes zero sense. Like, obviously they're not saying that, they're just giving somebody else a compliment.
Yeah.
But something I found is comparison, and that whole mindset can just breed jealousy, it can breed insecurity. It can cause us to not want to be happy for each other and build each other up, but instead tear each other down. And actually, now that I think about it, he's slightly ahead of me now.
And another good thing about celebrating with each other is that we get to experience the happiness of success twice. When someone else does good, we get to experience it with them. When we do good, it amplifies our own feeling of, hey, this is awesome, being able to celebrate when we have people gathered around us celebrating with us. So we in turn get to experience that joy twice. So that's just another plus of being on each other's side, of being there for each other, and all that. And now moving on to point 4, which is know that we are all originals.
If you were homeschooled like us, maybe you've read your fair share of animal books that are full of facts about animals.
Right. As one does.
As one does, or maybe that was just us. But if you have, you might know the interesting fact that no two zebras' stripes are alike.
And if you've spent your free time watching Animal Planet, as most of us do, and you see those herds of zebras that are just running and there's like a whole bunch of them, they all look the same. But then when you get close enough to them,
the zebras may be weirded out by doing this. But what you would find
is that they're actually all different.
None of us are alike. Even twins have different thumbprints.
We're wearing different color shirts mainly.
Right? It's actually straight up the same exact shirt from Hollister. Different colors.
I mean, we try to keep it different.
But that's the important thing to know about us, is that God made each of us unique. We're all originals. There's no one else like us in the world. There's no one else that has the same calling that we have. There's no one else that can do the same things that God has called us to do. And when we realize that, when we realize what David says in Psalm 139 about how we're fearfully and wonderfully made, that God carefully made each one of us with everything about us exactly the way he wants us to. He made us how we are, on the path that we are, in the place that we are in life for a reason. And so when we focus on that and not on all the other people around us and what they're doing and why we're not good enough or why we're better than them or anything else, that helps us to stay focused on just God and who he made us to be, and in being that person.
Yeah, and when we look down on ourselves, we're actually looking down on God's creation. We're actually looking down on something that God made, that he made to be wonderful, that he made to be something that would bring him glory. And there's this quote from Bob Goff that we both really
Bob
like.
Goff.
Yes. Read
love
his
Bob
books
Goff.
if you haven't already. They're very good. And it says, God has never looked in your mirror and wished he saw someone else. And that's such a good thing to remember when it comes to comparison. Like, God sees you, he sees the way he created you, and he does not want you to be any other way than how he's made you to be. That's what he wants out of you. Each of us is an original for a reason. We are the ones that can fulfill the purposes that he's called for us, and only us. We are the ones that can bring him glory through our lives, and that's by being who he's made us to be, and by being confident in ourselves, and by loving the creation that he made.
Yeah. And we both really like what Galatians 5:26 says in
Yeah.
the Message translation, which I don't know. Let me see if I can remember it.
It's quite a bit.
It's okay. That means we will not compare ourselves with each other as if one of us were better and another worse. We have far more interesting things to do with our lives. Each of us is an original, and that's what we've come to realize: is that each of us is an original, and God made you to be you for a reason, and no one else can do what God's called you to do. No one else can be you the way that God's called you to be you. And it's only when you're being who God made you to be that you can do what it is that he called you to do.
Yeah.
And the enemy wants us to get us focusing on everyone else and everything that's going on around us. He wants us to focus on everything else besides who God made us to be and what he made us to do.
Yep.
And whenever we just decide to just focus on we're original, let's focus on the path that God has for us and on living that out and building those around us up instead of tearing them down. That is what we found is by far the best lifestyle we can live whenever it comes to comparison.
Yep. So don't let comparison be something that makes you feel bad about yourself or something that brings you down or that takes away your joy, but instead listen to God, look at yourself how he sees you, see yourself as the valuable, wonderful creation that you are, and go forward living that truth.
Very good. And so to summarize, the 4 things that God has helped us to see that have really helped us with comparison are: 1, focus on the gifts that God has given you.
Oh, thanks.
He was given a basketball. He can use that however he wants, but probably not. But focus on using that gift. We're gonna get rid of the basketball now. Number 2, know that we're all on different paths. So while a lot of times it may seem like we're all running in the same race together and competing against each other, and like somebody's ahead, somebody's behind, and we're never fully secure either way, know that we're actually all on different paths, and to just focus on the path that God has us on.
Number 3 is be happy for each other. Rejoice with those who rejoice. Build each other up. Encourage each other. Help each other finish and complete and win the races that we have. And we're not competing against each other. We are helping each other in this life that God has given us.
And point number 4 is to know that we're all originals. God made us all uniquely, and he made us with unique things to do with our life and ways that we just are, that we interact with people, and callings and gifts and all of that. And whenever we focus on just what God made us to do, who he made us to be, and not in comparing all of that to other people's gifts, what he made them to do, then that just brings us happiness, it brings us peace, and we find that whole trap of comparison just being pushed out the window.
So that's all we have for comparison.
We hope that these things help you like they've helped us, because they've helped us tremendously, and so we just wanted to be able to come on and share a video in hopes that it would help someone else too.
Yep.
Thank you so much for watching and for joining us.
YouTube.
Oh, also, if you want to see Preston in more videos, let me know. And also, if you want to see more long-form videos like this, let me know. Thanks so much for joining us in this video today. We will see you soon in a future video.